Hello, guys. Welcome back. Goddess of the day is Freyja. We all need love, right? And you can read 5 million articles that will argue on the type of love that Freyja and Freyr, along with her, rule over. To me, it covers all kinds of love. And she's usually the one that, in my personal experience, she's concerned, are you treating the gods well enough? Are you treating yourself well enough? Are you doing the things that you need to have good frith, in your household as far as the gods and your family are concerned? And she's the one of, self-love too. Do you love yourself? Are you taking care of yourself? Do you see your personal worth? And she can be very insistent and a stickler on that. And there's a lovely translation, I forget who did it, of her story that when she goes to get the Briggs Megan. I know I pronounced that wrong. I'm sorry. When she goes to get the really pretty jewelry, um, she goes and she meets the four dwarves, and we're not told specifically what she gave them, although we all assume because they all say they want a night with her, but we're not told specifically what happens during that night. The best translation I said is that for all we know, they discuss dwarven politics, but it would be Freya's nature to give you what you truly need, not what you truly want, which is me as some people that work with her. And she comes and goes as she pleases. She has cats as a totem animal kind of, cats pull her chariot. She loves cats. She's very much the cat lady. And, she has that sensual feline energy, but she comes and goes as she pleases like a cat. She has her altar in there along with Freyr, and she has it just so, and she's like looking at the front door, so to speak, from, where the altar is set up. And in my experience, she's the goddess of the pantheon along with Freyja that makes sure we're keeping everything good with the gods and goddesses. And they'll actually give us enough rope to hang ourselves with, but then while we're hanging there, they'll feel free to come lecture us and go, your life would go so much better if, and then you'll nod and you'll agree with them. She's really good at finding our blind spots, or finding out what, like Odin can, of finding out our weak spots and, helping us shore those up and helping us face them and helping us, become better people. And, we obviously know that she is the daughter of Njord. She has several different goddesses attributed as being her mom. She would therefore have a relationship with Scotty, and she's on good terms with all the gods and goddesses. Shut up, Loki. God damn it, Loki. And Loki's like, yeah, real good relationship. Shut the hell up, so do you. I go, yeah! So obviously she can be in a romantic relationship, she can be in a loving relationship, and she does rule all aspects of love, not just romantic, but loving your family, loving, the world in general. She's the one that will point out the loving nature of gods you would find hard to find the loving nature in, like say Odin. Because I'd noticed Odin kept always asking to have the St. Jude videos play. And I'm like, well, yeah, he likes children, but she's pointing out, sometimes it takes Freyja pointing out the loving nature in a god of, like, say, Odin, or sometimes Loki, because sometimes Loki's being a total brat all day, and it takes Freyja to point out their loving nature. She can help you find the best in people, and she can obviously help you find love in your life, but make sure that you say what you truly want in the long run. Do you really truly want to be swept off your feet and just have some random encounter, or do you want a sweep you off your feet Hallmark kind of thing where it will last forever? You have to be kind of specific, and sometimes she will hear what you say, agree with you, and give you what she thinks is best for you anyhow. Sometimes she will be ready to work with me. Sometimes she won't. She's very much her own goddess, and things go on Freyja's schedule. I can't say that enough. She's delighted to be greeted every Friday. She is. I greet her and I greet Freyja, and I try to remember Freyja, and I usually do. She's fond of the other goddesses, she will have, you deal with all the goddesses, especially Frauholda. She seems to dote on her. And she dotes on Helen. She dotes on everyone. She really does. She can get that kind of sweet, not like your mom exactly, though for some people I'm sure she is a mother, but that kind of, oh, you're all so cute, you're like a basket of kittens energy. I think she's why I baby talked to half the gods, including Odin. And the first time I did it, Odin kind of looked at me like I lost my mind, but now he's fine with it. She seems to be very interesting, and she overlaps with Frigga here with taking care of the home, of keeping the home, smelling nice and keeping it clean, not spending a ton of money. I've seen her attached to luxury and wealth, and it's okay, but if she can't get it, she doesn't care either, because remember, she's also a goddess considered, and this is where fights start. Some people consider her a war goddess, and some people say that's wrong. She's only a tiny little puff of love and softness. And I'm like, I get both. I'm not gonna argue with you, but I get both. So she's considered, a war goddess. And there's also another fight of whether the Valkyries are Odin's girls, which they would probably punch you for saying that, unless, you know, you know what I mean. There's a heated debate whether the Valkyries answer to Odin or they answer to Freyja. My honest opinion is that I get the general impression that they don't answer to anyone. I mean, they work and they do their work and they choose the battle slaying, but she does get like half of the battle slaying. So, um, and she's really good at introducing you to the rest of the Vanir. Like, she's the one that made sure I knew Njord, and she's the one that made sure I knew Freyr. And if she just wants something, it's kind of adorable. She'll come in and she will say, "That is mine." And sometimes she picks out her own gifts like that. And you had other plans, and she knows you had other plans. Like, I have a wolf named Freyja, and we are not renaming that thing. And Odin was like, "You could consider them Freki and Gary." I'm like, "You go argue with Freyja." And he's like, "You can go argue with Freyja." So she can be very fierce, and she can be very much that, she does have, I feel like she has wolf energy too. She would have any kind of energy. She loves animals. She freaking adores animals. She's kind of like, that part of you that spends 8 hours on Pinterest looking at cute little puppies and kittens. She can be that too. Loves children, loves the family. She can be very fierce protectoress. Okay, so if regardless of gender, if you're going out and you want protection, you can go to her and she will protect you. Her one biggest challenge is that she's going to want you to own whatever's going on in your life, and she's going to want you to make whatever improvements Freyja thinks you need to make. And she doesn't give two damns what Odin or anybody else said. Freyja is very much, that's the one problem I've had working with her. Freyja considers Freyja the highest authority in the universe at times. I've never seen her bow down to Odin. I've never seen her remotely listen to anyone, except for she'll usually agree with Freyr. And if it feels like her father's like, "All right, young lady, you're overstepping," she's like, "I don't care." But usually she's kind of daddy's girl, and sometimes she will listen, and sometimes she's like, "No, war!" And she won't listen to anyone. At times like if I think it's going to the point where Freyja, one second, please. If I think she's ever going to the point where she's getting a little too extreme, then I know to back off for a little bit. I know she's the one goddess of Pantheon that will routinely do that. She's a bit exuberant. We know she has a husband named Odin, which a lot of people will interpret as Odin, and Odin won't say, and sometimes he will say yes, and sometimes he will say no, and sometimes the ground's really interesting. They certainly get along. They certainly have love and respect, but she also has this defiant attitude of, "No man gonna tell me what to do." So she's very much a feminist. She's not the kind of goddess that's going to back down for the gods or back down for anyone else. And I get the impression that when you're fighting, your fight, she will be there alongside you. You won't always know it, because she does like you to feel self-empowered, but she will be there beside you. She's also about, I think we touched on a little bit about loving yourself as you are right now. She doesn't care what your body looks like. Your body is beautiful to her. You're going to learn it. Same thing with any disabilities or anything you have. She doesn't even like the term disability. She'll find something else to say. She's very positive, but she will still have enough of that firm leadership that, she sees you have a lot of problems. She sees you're struggling, but you're still going to get up and you're still going to do it. Getting this kind of contented feline energy. She's not beyond, in my experience, being other goddesses. She is a goddess of magic and, love and warfare, even though some people go, no, she's tiny little sugar dot. And she has, probably a lot of stories we lost. I've always got that sense of working with her because we have a story of her, crying the tears of amber while she searches for her husband. And that came after, she got her necklace. And we definitely have a sense that, and we're getting into UPG now, if you haven't guessed, of when the family came over, she chose to come, and Freyja chose to come. Actually, it was only New York that they demanded, but they chose to come, and I get the sense that other gods and goddesses chose to come too, but she's very definitely her own lady. She's said to be the goddess that has taught Odin a lot of the magical skills he knows, specifically the womanly magic skills he knows. Though then you'll get somebody scream that it was never woman's magic, and then there will be a big fight, and Odin and Freyja will probably just be on the sidelines watching everything play out. But, overall, she's a really great goddess to work with, and, she's very empowering. You can certainly work magic with her and everything else, and I do get that she overlaps with Frigga a lot. I don't get the sense they're the same goddess, that's just me, but she will overlap with her, and, she seems to be interested in weaving. She's certainly interested in home life. She can get a little cavalier with you. At least in my experience, she can borderline treat you like the hired help. Then she catches herself and realizes she's being a little too big, and then she sincerely apologizes. She does love her people. She'd be a little too bit queenly at times, but she really does love her people and care. I think it's just she gets caught up in being Freyja at times, if you understand what I mean, and, but then she's apologizing. She treats me like a sister, so I really have no complaints. So I'm genuinely hurt and surprised when she gets a little too big, and then she realizes what she's done. Freyja usually doesn't do it. He can sometimes join his sister in it, but, and if you work with Freyja, expect Freyja to show up in your life. It's just a given. They go everywhere. I don't think they're listed as twins in any of the material we have, but I treat them as twins because they act like twins. They're soulmates. They're very well known to be lovers together, and of course, they all have other lovers, and they're not jealous. But it's kind of like this. I get this sense that that is their one true love. They're missing half, the other sibling, and that's common. We have a lot of Egyptian and other deities that do the same thing. And being Vanir, she's good with vegetation, and she's good with wild, feral kind of magic, and she's got it all covered. Any kind of magic, she's got it covered. And we could kind of go on forever about her, but you can feast her every season, everything. I think sometimes we get too caught up in doing the right thing, and she will be the one to come in and stomp all over your ideas of what the right thing is. She's beautiful to work with. She's very proud of being, a goddess and being a goddess of love and desire and, helping inspire everyone to populate the earth, to put it politely. She's a goddess that she's very down with if you're of the age and you want to go to a bar where ladies dance or men dance, she don't care. Yeah, she's very much for that. She's very much for the adult entertainment industry. She's very much about treating all people well, including people that, do. I'm trying to not get YouTube to ban me. Do mature adult jobs for a living. She's very respectful and loving towards those kind of people and demands her people where she's like, you have to respect them. For one, you're consuming the things that they put out, and for two, they're just, they don't have a problem with sharing their profession with other people, and they shouldn't be looked down upon. So she's very sex positive. Hopefully YouTube doesn't ban me. I'm like, how am I gonna do this video and not get banned? So she's very sex positive. I mean, you've seen her statues, I'm sure, and you've seen her brother statues. They're not what I would call shy, but they're perfectly good, by the way, before you faint and worry. They are perfectly good, and they're perfectly intelligent, and they can work with children very well. In fact, there's a story about, I think it's called 8 Days of Luke, where Loki is playing a young child, and it's kind of strange. And all the Norse gods and goddesses show up in the skies, and Freya and Freyr show up in the skies, and everybody's blushing, getting really embarrassed and flustered, and can't figure out why. And it's just that Freyr and Freya magic. So, they're good guys to talk to. They love a good party. They love, happy up energy, but they'll also sit with you if you're sad and having a bad day, sometimes they'll just sit with you. And that's a blessing. They're not going to force you to be happy. So, I hope you guys enjoyed that. She's very loving around here. I've noticed she disappears if she doesn't like how the household is being set up or who I'm talking to. But as soon as things are arranged to the lady's liking, she shows back up. She popped back in today. She's like, "What happened? Who got kicked out? Tell me all the details." She's a little bit of a gossip with me. God's bless her. She is. I love her though. She's very sweet, but she's got that mischief energy just like Freyr does, and she will get away with what you will let her get away with. So she's another one. Norse gods in general, other than Thor, and Thor, is no slouch either. You have to make sure you got your borders up. They will cute and charm you into anything, and before you know it, they have like way transgressed your borders. You have to, as cute and charming as they can be, or as insistent, or whatever, keep those borders up. She will test you on that. And she loves cooking. She loves food. Like I said, she overlaps with Frigga a lot. She overlaps with Loki a lot. Some people you cannot put them in the same room, but for me, they get along quite well. I think it depends. We humans are kind of like catalyst, and depending on how you feel towards both, I'm sure, and depending on how both feel towards you, I think that's why with some people you can have them in the same room and they're very cordial. And with some people, you just cannot put her in the same room with Loki. Though I sometimes wonder if that's people just reenacting the drama and supposing that they should hate each other. Nobody hates Loki. Are you getting what? Nobody hates Loki. You've been connected to everyone, and nobody hates Freyja, and she's been connected to everyone. So it's kind of like nobody talks about it, but everybody's aware of it, if that makes sense. And I'm like, I'm fine. There's no, they'll teach you not to have any jealousy there as to, divine beings having, attention for each other. And sometimes they wander off right in the middle of a ritual because their friend's over there and they need to go see their friend. So those will be the two to teach you. There's nothing worse than you're doing this ritual for Loki or you're doing something for Freyr or something and they see a friend and they're like, bye. And they go off and you're like, what? And then another god comes in and they're like, what's the matter? I was halfway through the ritual and she just wandered off. She will. Don't take it personally. She's kind of the goddess of ADHD sometimes. I love her, but sometimes it's like something caught her attention. She loves butterflies, roses, all things pretty and girly, but she also loves weapons. I get it all with her. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, and subscribe. Now I feel like somebody's like inspiring me and they're like, you know what Freyja needs? 20 more minutes. But she's really, really sweet. She'll make your house a home. And she'll more than, please take this the right way, she'll more than earn her keep. I know she can be a little demanding at times. She can be a little prissy at times. She can drive you nuts. And sometimes it's like she starts trouble for the fun of it, or she disappears and you can't find her for a few weeks. But overall, she's more than worth it. She's a loving, benevolent goddess. You just gotta take it into consideration that she's like the wind. You're never gonna know where she's gonna be or why. So, I will see you guys later. Bye bye.